Hey everybody, it is week 5 in the NFL. It is the Sunday Night Talk, and it is a loaded show, and it is all me this week. That's right, I'm flying solo. We have a lot to discuss. Week 5 offering more questions and answers, but I might say every week is offering more questions and answers. Don't forget, if you have not already, please subscribe to the show right here on YouTube. We are brought to you by the Running to Bat Network. That's where all my stuff is up. My stand-up comedy clips are up there. This very show you're listening to right now, the Sunday Night Talk, is up there. Not to mention all the YouTube shorts I've been doing are up there as well. So go check it out. And we picked up a couple new subscribers this week. So welcome everybody. So let's begin the show. Let's talk. It's week 5. And as I'm recording this, I am in the Midwest. I am in Chicago. What does that mean? That means it's 11:09 p.m. Central Time, and the Sunday night game is not even over. As I'm recording this, I hit the record button right as the fourth quarter started of Dallas at Pittsburgh. As it stands right now, Dallas finally got in the end zone. It's 12-10, extra point pending. So I'm going to talk about this game, and I'm going to react to it as the game continues as well. So let's start with the game itself. Dallas at Pittsburgh. We had an hour 20 lightning delay to even start the game. And half of the fun in the delay of it all was just watching all the NBC analysts try and fill the time. I think they reviewed all the early games twice. I think they just did the highlights over and over again. Jason Garrett was vamping. We had Maria Taylor doing her best to fill the time. I was this close from thinking they were just going to play an episode of Law & Order to fill the gap. Why not? Just play it. We'll get to this game when we get to it. So now that the game has finally gotten underway after an hour 20. I think we were sold the bill of goods that this was going to be an offensive game, and at halftime it was 6-3. We didn't have a lot going on in this game, period. We finally have a touchdown at the start of the fourth quarter by Dallas, so maybe it just takes some of these games a full 3 quarters to really start. But up to now, let me discuss what I've noticed in this game and what I liked. Talking about, first of all, the rain delay. I don't know what reporter it was. I think it was Melissa Stark. Said apparently Mike McCarthy is from Pittsburgh and knows Pittsburgh grass. So he was instructing all his players to put on longer cleats. Who knew Mike McCarthy was actually a field expert and had regional knowledge of Pittsburgh grass? I thought that was an interesting tidbit. I think some of these things we should fact check in real time when reporters say them on the sideline. First half, though, I thought it was interesting that both teams actually could move the ball fairly well, but none of them could really score. Like I said, it's 6-3 at halftime. Dak is to blame for a really bad red zone pick that led to CeeDee Lamb giving him a pretty nasty look on the sideline, too. So when we talk NFL body language, I think Dallas was looking really rough. The momentum had swung big time, and that leads to really the start of the action in this game, which was third quarter. Justin Fields rolls out. He gets absolutely leveled by one of the Dallas defenders, gets called for a late hit, which was more of a hit to the head than late hit, I thought. And then the referees call the penalty, and then there's a lot of confusion as to what the actual medical timeout is, because apparently the independent doctor assessed that Fields had sustained a head injury or needed to be looked at. They call a medical timeout, yet Fields doesn't go out of the game. The referee tells him something. He says something back. Fields goes out of the game. The backup quarterback comes in, hands the ball off next play, then throws a great 15-yard pass, complete down the middle. Fields comes back in. He throws 2 great passes, one of them for a touchdown. So I don't know what that says about the NFL, where you get concussed, you come back and you actually play better. And the momentum is totally shifted now. Dallas on their next drive drives down, field goal attempt is blocked, and the momentum is changed. So where we stand right now, it is 13:45 left in the fourth quarter. Dallas is up 13-10. So we will check on this game as we proceed. But let's talk about some big picture points Sunday, week 5, to really just cap it off. Let's set the table here. Main storylines I actually watched the Fox pregame show, and one thing that jumped out at me is they have a segment on there where they get Matt Ryan in a lie detector booth, and it's called "Is Matt Lying?" And they just ask him these silly NFL questions. I think they're leaving a lot on the table with this bit. A lot of these pregame shows are kind of lame. They're kind of boring. They're very sterile. This one I thought had potential because, hey, Matt Ryan, we got you hooked up to a lie detector test. When you lost 28-3 to the Patriots, did you blame Arthur Blank for coming down onto the field? I would like to know that. I would like to know his true, honest opinion of it. Hey, Matt Ryan, were you pissed off when they shipped you off to Indianapolis for no good reason? Did you feel your career lasted 3 years too long? You've got him in the lie detector. Throw a couple in there. Very curious. Very curious segment there. But at least Fox is trying, I have to say. Other main storyline going into this week is I think I was the only one who had San Francisco concerns going into this week. And after this week, I think there's a real problem now in San Francisco. We don't know what's up with the McCaffrey injury. We don't know what San Francisco team we're getting week to week. Arizona always plays them tough. I get that, but they really lacked in this game. Ironically, the best player on their team is Brock Purdy. He's trying to make plays. He comes up short in the end, which I think if they had that to do over, I think their play calling would have been a little more conservative. Brock Purdy gets a pass tipped and it's picked off, game over. Let's go to 2 main bullet points that I do every week. It's called Who Looked Good, Who Looked Bad. Who looked good this week? I got Jaden Daniels for the second week running. Looked really good. I think Washington really looks like a talented team. They're a threat. It's hard to put a couple weeks in a row together where your team is good and crisp. And they did that this week. Washington, in particular Jaden Daniels, looked good. I also have who looked good this week, the Minnesota defense, not Minnesota offense. They played the London game against the Jets this week. The defense looked really good. 1 pick 6. They end the game with a pick on Aaron Rodgers. I think the defense came through. We talked so much about Sam Darnold these first few weeks, but it was the defense this week that I thought looked good. They are 5-0 now. Okay, who looked bad? I think we knew this was coming, but yes, the Raiders looked bad today. They looked bad in every which way. Ironically, they started off really well in this game, which they have not done all season long. They started by scoring 10 points, and they're up 10-0 on Denver. Minshew throws the horrible pick 6, and essentially the floodgates are open, and it goes the complete opposite way in that game. Minshew ends up getting benched, and the Raiders are just a tremendous mess right now. It's painful to watch, I gotta say. I have a lot of Raiders friends who go to a lot of these games. They go to away games, they go to home games, and just to watch their Instagrams just be bummed out in a sea of Denver Broncos fans, just horrendous. And just moving forward with the Raiders questions, it's quarterback and it's coach right now. There was a part where the Raiders had a 3rd and 5. They ran the ball for 2 yards, and all the casual NFL fan can think is, oh, well, they're going to go for it on 4th. That's why they ran it. No, they punt it. So I'm not sure what Antonio Pierce's overall decisions are in these games anymore. I mean, he was very critical of players for making business decisions in the Carolina blowout. And all of a sudden we're running it on 3rd and 5. This was bad. This was a bad one. That's why I have him in my who looked bad of the week. So while I update this Sunday night game, I thought we would run through the games, tell you my notes on things, see what's going on, see what stood out to me. Like I said, I'm in a different time zone now. I'm in Central Time. So that means I'm waking up way too early, meaning pretty much for the first time ever, I could watch the London game in its entirety this week. Ever. I've never watched the London game. I just see the highlights of it. It's 2 teams I don't care about too much typically, But this year, it's two teams I'm very interested in. I want to see Aaron Rodgers. I want to see these undefeated Vikings. And I got to a London game. So talking London game, again, a little slow starting, lower scoring of a game. One interesting thing, Sam Darnold went down really, really hard in the first quarter, and it was such a weird hit injury. He's laying on his stomach. Most of the time, players are on their back, grabbing a knee or holding a neck or something. Sam Darnold is face down in the turf, and then comes back a couple plays later. So I'm not quite sure what's going on with injuries sometimes. So that stuck out to me. What else stuck out to me is just Aaron Rodgers' body language in general. It's bad. It seems like he doesn't want to be there. He's annoyed all the time. I made a note. Aaron Rodgers was pissed off from the 1:30 mark in the first quarter on in this game. Just several things like he's waiting for the play to come in the huddle, and he's doing the circle thing with his hand, and he's getting more annoyed, so he's doing it faster and faster. He's giving every receiver the glare, which Aaron Rodgers is, his bread and butter throw now is the back shoulder, and it's a really tough play to pull off because receivers are covered, so he's got to put it right on their hip, he's got to put it right on their outside shoulder. Some of these passes, the receivers are trying amazingly hard to get two hands on it, and they're not catching it, and then Rodgers is pissed off at the receiver. I don't know what is exactly the plan with these passes. And the other thing is he's getting hit a lot. And of course, if you saw it, you saw the Aaron Rodgers injury where he goes down. And this was the most exciting part of the game where he goes down. We're all worried. He limps off the field. The Jets are now punting because he got injured on a third down. They punt. They get a roughing the punter penalty. They get 15 yards. They get the ball. Rodgers sprints from the medical tent back onto the field and keeps playing, keeps completing the drive. It was a very strange game. And at some point, the Jets threw 18 straight passes. And yet they're still somewhat in this game. Score was 17-23. The last Rodgers drive, he tries to throw a back shoulder pass. It gets intercepted. And all Rodgers does is give the hands. Like he wanted a pass interference penalty. I just don't know. We have not seen it. I have two thoughts on something going in week 5. This is called We Still Haven't Seen It. And I have Aaron Rodgers as one. We still haven't seen it. And Caleb Williams the other. We haven't seen it from these guys yet. And I still haven't seen it from Aaron Rodgers today. And I think the Jets might be dead. I think this is the season from hell. Nothing is redeeming about these guys right now. Maybe you can blame London. Maybe you can blame Aaron Rodgers' bad attitude, but I haven't seen anything redeemable in the Jets yet. Caleb Williams we'll talk about when I get to that game. So, Minnesota's still 5-0. They beat the Jets in London. Sam Darnold injured something. We still don't know. Moving on. Carolina at Chicago. Unseasonably warm day in Chicago. Carolina. I said this 3 weeks ago, every team should get to play Carolina. And it bit me in the ass because my Raiders got absolutely killed by them. But this was the game for Chicago to flex. And they did. This was not a fluky win like against Tennessee. This was 36-10. Caleb Williams had the most flashes of brilliance he's had all year. I don't think any of these teams are going anywhere. I'll be honest. But yet, Caleb Williams' first half was really good, really sharp, moving around. He had a couple of those broken plays where he could move around, he could create without getting his head knocked off, like in the first few weeks. And of course, the Andy Dalton bubble bursted this week. It had to happen, but Carolina's just not good. They're just not a good team, and the Bears had enough to win this game. 36-10. That's a big, big blowout. But back to my original point, we still haven't seen it from Caleb Williams. This at least keeps it on the burner because we saw flashes today. I'm going to call it flashes. I wouldn't say we had brilliance, like a Lamar performance or a Mahomes performance. We were like, whoa, wait till next year. Wait till next week. We saw flashes today. So moving on. Score check, though. Dallas 13, Pittsburgh 10 still. We're at 12 minutes left in the game. And Dallas has the ball. The other thing, too, quick note, just watching this game as well. Do we still like Dak? I don't know what it is Dak does particularly well. He's consistent. He's a leader. But the deep ball, that interception early, moving with his feet is not something he does a lot anymore. However, they're on the 30, their own 30. It'd be interesting to see how this game turns out and then what the results are from each of these teams, because Pittsburgh 3-1, Dallas a more skeptical 2-2. Okay, we're coming back to that game. Game of the day, possibly the whole week or season too, for that matter. Baltimore at Cincinnati. Cincinnati is 1-4, or going into this game 1-3. Baltimore 2-2. Huge game for both teams. I'm a little more worried of like what this game means for the losing team, because Cincinnati plays well enough to win every single game. They could be undefeated, yet they have won one game. So we go into this game at Cincinnati. I think we see the greatest Lamar scramble, maybe the greatest scramble period in the last 25 years, maybe ever, where he does a double stiff arm end of the game, and then flings one up into the end zone, caught for a touchdown. By the way, the Bengals were up in this game most the majority of the game, and watching some of these games, there's like one little thing that shifts the momentum, and it seems the team can do nothing wrong after that, and the opposing team can't get out of their own way. So Lamar has that amazing play, and he was awesome in this game. There's a couple spots where there could have been a pick. We had the fumble later in the game as well. He's a little bit of playing with fire, but he had it under control in this particular game. What's interesting in this game, and it happened another one too, the botched field goals really hurt him. We saw a blocked field goal in the Giants game, and in particular the Cincinnati one, going for the win with the botched hold. I don't think enough was given to the kicker for getting that ball up and almost making that field goal. Was wide left, but because of the drop hold, it was like when Tony Romo dropped that place kick way back when. But this holder got it down, and then the kicker just kind of pulled it because the ball was essentially flat on the ground for a beat before the foot got on the ball. And then we take it to overtime. I think both these teams kind of deserve to lose this game at one point. Lamar with the fumble, Cincinnati, then the missed field goal, then Baltimore gets it, and the one Derrick Henry run just burst it wide open. And I like Baltimore just straight up kicked it, end the game, get out of there. Burrow's really pissed off. I think he's the one taking these the hardest. Ironically, not too much has been put on the coaching of Cincinnati, but they're good enough to win these games. They're just not winning them. And it makes me think, because the season is so long, does winning these games early really matter that much? It matters in the division. It matters overall, of course, for the morale. But I would be very interested to see where Minnesota is December 1st and Cincinnati is December 1st, because they are too good to write off for this season. They're not giving up. The players are not quitting. They have leadership. And they're in all these games. It's just a question of, is everything going to go wrong for them this year? Moving on. I think this is the only game I did not watch. I had everything going on the Foursquare. I had multiple TVs going. I had the phone going. Miami at New England. This is going nowhere. This is only a game for the locals, only a game for the diehard fans. And it's almost like I want to tell both these teams, hey, don't feel so bad, because good news, both your quarterbacks are terrible. This game, 15-10. Anytime there's a weird score like 15, you know this game is odd. We still haven't seen Drake May for New England. And coming to Miami, if I'm trying to write a storyline for Miami, is the bloom off the rose for Mike McDaniels, the head coach? What has he done? How is he prepped? He knows Tua potentially is injury prone. He can't get his backup quarterback even near efficient against a New England team. Do we need to blame McDaniels at all? Is he to blame for some of this? What about the defense? Tua doesn't play defense. Also, Tua was off to a rough start today, a rough start this season. So Miami might be another one who might be playing for next year at this point. There's still talk of Tua coming back, and to be honest, if they keep losing, I don't see a real reason to risk it, to bring him back. Sunday night game update, 10:49 left. Dallas has the ball, 1st and 10. They're on their own 27-yard line. Finally, a deep pass from Dak. Oh, and he threw another pick. Another pick from Dak, the seam route in the middle. Picked off. And still, they're up 13-10. All right, we'll come back to that. I'm starting to turn on Dak. Maybe since the contract happened, maybe he let off the gas. Maybe Dak gets overrated. Also was surprised that Snoop Dogg is a Steelers fan. I didn't know that. Like I said, moving on, Cleveland at Washington. Washington wins 34-13. I got some Deshaun thoughts. I don't think anything about him was good today. I gave him some flowers last week against the Raiders. I thought he played well. This week, the attitude, the mojo's bad. There was an instance where he walked off the field dejected. I wrote down the only thing good about Deshaun is I like how he wears orange shoes. I like how his orange shoes match his uniform. I think other teams should do that. Get your shoe, give your shoes some color. That would give a nice pop to it. So if you bench Deshaun as the Cleveland Browns organization, what does that say about Deshaun, your faith in him, your season? It's bad in Cleveland. It really, really is bad, and they have some talent on there too. We started with their defense maybe being good. They have Amari Cooper. They have Deshaun. It has not happened one bit for them, and today was another ugly one. And give Washington credit. They blew them out. This is a team they should blow out, and they did. So is Washington for real? It seems like they are the young hope. They're the new hope. They're the Star Wars Episode 4 of the NFL, at least right now. There's nothing to not like about Washington. And they're getting better every single week. So this is another team where are we December 1st with these guys? I like them. I like Washington a lot right now. Next game. Now, I could have not watched any of this game, but I did watch it. Indianapolis at Jacksonville. Jacksonville finally wins the game. And not even by fluke. 37 points. 37-34. I think, ironically, the only high-scoring game of the day. I think a little Trevor Lawrence mojo is back. Every team can get on a run. Well, except Cleveland. And I could see Jacksonville ripping off a few wins. I could see them getting there. Trevor Lawrence look happy again. So Jacksonville finally gets a win. They're going to London next week, which they love. So I wouldn't be surprised if they win again in London. Okay, another potential fun watch. Buffalo at Houston. Houston has been everybody's darling this year, and for good reason, because they win 23-20. Now, the big story in this game is that last possession for Buffalo in regulation. They had the ball on the 1, and they decided to run 3 straight passes. Instead of playing for overtime, they punt it. Houston gets the ball. One play from CJ Stroud gets them into field goal range for a really long kick, but it took one play, it took 5 yards. They win the game. So critical coaching error where you don't have to constantly be aggressive at times. And you're at the 1. Easy for me to say now, but it really, really hurt them. And Buffalo's another one that's kind of like Cincinnati's, just doesn't have enough to win this game. Call it coaching smarts, call it the right play at the right time. Buffalo's one that could turn it around. I really, really think they could. Some of it's because of their division. I think they're going to win that division no matter what. But if that's the case, and they get wild card, and they're going on the road in a wild card game, They have not shown me anything that looks like an elite team, but they're a good team. Is the hard part with a lot of these teams right now. Is there's a lot of good teams losing games. Those were the early slate of games. Oh, one more thing on Buffalo, Houston. Houston, can any NFL team just make an alternate uniform and make it black? If black goes with everything, then any team can have a black uniform. I didn't like it. I didn't even know what team I was looking at. I thought it was a college team or a Canada team. Stick with what you got. You were out there, and I had no idea what I was looking at. I didn't even, and how can you mess up black? I didn't even think they were that good looking of a uniform. Those were the early games. Like I said, I started with the London game today for you, the people, and myself. I think Aaron Rodgers is still upset. Half the fun, too, with Aaron Rodgers is the press conferences after. He never takes ownership. He always deflects reporters' questions. He's permanently annoyed, which maybe is fun for the NFL. Okay, let's go to the late games, and let's talk the big one, at least in my world. Las Vegas Raiders at Denver, taking an 8-game win streak. They have not lost to Denver in 8 games, and they go in there. And the ironic part about this game, this is the best start the Raiders have ever had. They go up 10-0. Minshew, I say when Minshew's good, he's Minshew. When he's bad, he's Gardner. He was Minshew, at least for 2 drives. Minshew has the ball. We're inside the 10. It's 10-0. Minshew throws a horrible pick six. It's so bad that we don't know who he was throwing it to. We don't know if he overthrew a receiver or underthrew the receiver behind him, but it gets picked and it gets run back for a pick six. And the Raiders effectively folded after that. I think they gave up like 27 points straight after that. They had Bo Nix. Bo Nix was so effective in this game, the announcers were comparing him to John Elway. They're bringing up his rookie numbers. Like, this is the guy who scored 10 points the week before against the Jets. And all of a sudden, he's the second coming to John Elway. Oh, this is bad. It was really bad. The Raiders, for some reason, have amnesia, and nothing is working on the ground. They continuously run the ball right into the middle of the line for about the next 2.5 quarters, gaining 1 yard, 2 yards. But here's the biggest one. And this is an Antonio Pierce one. I really, really liked Antonio Pierce. And now I'm starting to scratch my head and I'm thinking differently. It's 3rd and 5. They're about midfield. The Raiders run the ball, gain 2 yards, thinking they're going to go for it on 4th. Like, let's go. Let's be aggressive. They punt the ball. What was the point of running it on 3rd and 5 if you're going to punt? That was bad. That was a really bad coaching decision. And I'm wondering what's going on in the locker room. Minshew gets benched in the 4th quarter, and it's garbage time. It's complete garbage time. And they turn into the Raiders of old, where it's just penalty after penalty after penalty. And it was really ugly. It was a poor, poor showing for everything Raiders. The only bright spot was Crosby, I think, had 2 sacks in the first half. And we scored 10 points early. That was it. That was the whole end of everything. I thought Sean Payton and Bo Nix having a pseudo argument on the sideline was fun as a Raiders fan because I didn't want to watch any gameplay anymore. I was like, show me something else. Brutal, brutal loss. Raiders are 2-3. And it might be Antonio Pierce coaching for his job the rest of this season because we've had some bad coaching games. Solely coaching, I will say. Broncos, I don't think Broncos are going anywhere either. So I don't know what to get excited about Broncos other than they wore their cool uniforms, retro uniforms, and I don't know what took them so long. You were sitting on these awesome uniforms, the Orange Crush. I've never seen them do those throwbacks before. So if I'm the Broncos, I just keep those uniforms the rest of the year. You beat the Raiders, division rival. Bo Nix is the second coming of John Elway. He's John Elway's child. Just keep him going. Sean Payton still has the old lady sunglasses on too, which I like. Okay, score update. Sunday night, Steelers have the ball. It's still 13-10, but they're driving. They are at the 10-yard line. 5 minutes, 53 seconds left in this game. Next game, Arizona at San Francisco. Arizona wins 24-23. Arizona is going to ruin somebody's season. I think they're good enough to win almost every game, yet I'm convinced they're going to lose half their games. They're just that team. Have the 49ers underperformed this year? They have, right? They should be better than what they are. Injuries, I get it. I get the injuries, but they are good. The best player on their team is Brock Purdy. He is facilitating. He's getting the ball everywhere. There was a couple of decisions that could be questioned, but he gives his team a chance. If you were to say, does Aaron Rodgers give his team a chance? No, Aaron Rodgers throws it to everybody's kneecaps. Brock Purdy gives the receivers a chance. What killed him was a tip ball. So hard to pin that on him. Arizona, I wrote it here, most fun team, the most fun 1-3 team. And one concern for the 49ers. No points in the second half. Some NFL teams do this where they get points early and they go into this little turtle shell mode offensively the rest of the game. That's concerning when you're at home and you can't score points in the second half. That's tough. That's tough. Now, their season is not done because they've got 2 wins. Anything can flip. We don't know what's going on with Christian McCaffrey. He's got tendonitis in 2 legs now. Apparently, tendonitis is contagious. It's a concern, and if I'm a betting man, I would want to see the odds on he doesn't play this season. Because I think it's a real possibility. He had injuries coming into it. They're not exactly losing all their games. They've won 2, so he doesn't really need to come back right now. So why not keep him out to keep him healthy? I might say he stays out the whole season. Scoring update. Pittsburgh is in the end zone. So that's going to bring the score to 16-10 extra point pending right now. Sorry, 16-13 extra point pending. There are 5 minutes left in the game. So this is a big drive coming up for Dak with 5 minutes left, 3 timeouts left. I'm a little nervous there's going to be a messed up timeout they're going to have to call. All right, I will update. Last thing, have you ever noticed this on the Pittsburgh kicker? He doesn't even wear football pants. He's wearing like football shorts. He hikes them up above his knee and his jersey hangs low. He looks like a human triangle. Next game, Green Bay at LA Rams. Again, 2 teams that I think are going nowhere, but are going to ruin someone's season and actually going to play some fun games. One note on this, Jordan Love and all NFL quarterbacks, don't throw crazy passes just to save a safety. Jordan Love had the dumbest play ever where he's trying to save a safety and he throws the ball and a Rams defender picks it, pick 6 within 2 seconds. Remember that Kyler Murray, one of those, like maybe 3 years ago in the playoffs where he just was about to go down in the end zone, just flicked it. That's one of those things you thought, oh, one quarterback's going to do that. Everybody's going to see. That's a bad idea. Never do that. No, I think I've seen 15 of those in my life. And we're not done with it. We are so scared of a safety, just fundamentally. It's like in our biology, like we're scared of safeties. We're born with the ability to know how to breathe, know how to eat, sleep, and avoid safeties at all cost. Horrendous play. But it didn't matter because Green Bay won anyway. Rams might be horrible. They just might be. They're just always injured. Stafford always takes big hits. I don't know what's going on. And the last game of the late game slate, the New York Giants at the Seattle Seahawks. I wrote down, why are the Giants up 10? Not the Giants are up 10. How come the Giants are up 10? I wrote, why are the Giants up 10? Seattle battled back again, and this was the other field goal block game that solidified the game. A block field goal. You rarely see that with the game on the line. Sealed it. So Giants, another one. They're not going anywhere, but you can't take anybody lightly anymore in the NFL. There's no cakewalks. There really isn't. And Seattle loses a tough one at home. But I think Seattle's good. I've been really impressed with Geno. He can move. He's great on his feet. He's putting the ball places. He's a real, real threat. And it makes me pissed off the Raiders didn't try to get him. Well, you can tell I'm upset. It's difficult. But we are going to press on. That was all the games today. That was who looked good, who looked bad. My big picture points as well in the season. So that brings us to the awards. That's right. We have awards every week on the Sunday Night Talk. And this week is no different. Game update. Dallas has the ball on their own 25. It's 2nd and 5. Run the ball up the middle. You know, this is, even though the score's so low, like there has been offense, just no scoring. Couple big injuries in this game too. Dallas offensive line. Pittsburgh, more defensive injuries. This is a season so brutal. I'll go back to 16 games. Let's make it 15. Why not, right? Okay. Let's go to the awards. First award, I got a bunch of them. Most memorable moment for week 5 in the NFL. And for me, it's that Lamar fourth quarter. The guy is so dynamic on the field. The stiff arms. He's doing the thing where he runs with the ball way out from his body. And then he'll just flip it like he did for that touchdown. It's amazing. Lamar in the fourth is so great. And he's skinny Lamar this year too. So we all gave him shit the first game. And it seems to be working out for him. It seems like he doesn't take the big hits even though he's skinny. And he's finding everyone. Lamar fourth quarter, I'll watch that last 25 minutes all over again. I can't wait till on YouTube when they do a condensed version of the game on Monday, just to go back and see the decisions he made, the scrambles he made, and of course those awesome throws, that one in the end zone in particularly. Okay, next award, the cringeworthy award for the week. As always, this is the award I always had the most nominees for. Here's my first cringeworthy award, and it's a little bit of a curiosity as well. I got my cringeworthy award, aka the Jason Garrett Award as well. Cringeworthy, those extra padding caps some of the players are wearing on their helmets. This year they're allowed to wear them, so they just paint them the logo of their helmet so it looks seamless, but it's very clear to the eye that they're wearing this huge mushroom cap on their head. Now, I am all for player safety, so my question is, do we know these are actually working? It seems like we've improved safety in the NFL so much, and yet we have 10 times more concussions. Those things look completely ridiculous. I don't know if they work, and I can see them from a mile away. Really funny. Every once in a while, there's a really good player on the field, and they cut to him all the time, and it's the first thing your eye is drawn to. It's like, what's that thing on their head? Why are they wearing that thing on their head? Dallas is now at the 50. 3rd and 1. 3 minutes left. Pitch out right to Zeke. He's right at the line. Drive continues. Also with Dallas, who was that Turpin guy? I wrote his name down. I never heard of that guy before. He really produced in this game. All right, I'm going to keep an eye on him. Good job playing him this week, Dallas. Other cringeworthy nominees are when the backup QB wears that little earpiece thing, not a headset, just the earpiece so they can listen to the plays but not talk. Like, hey, listen in, but we don't want to hear anything from you. That's kind of a cringeworthy thing to have to wear as the backup QB. I wrote down potentially game-winning field goals were cringeworthy this week. A drop snap, a block kick. Jason Garrett, in trying to fill time during the rain delay, called Joe Burrow the Moo. Stands for Master of the Obvious. Jason Garrett, you can't just make up your own acronyms. Cringeworthy. Next award, the most memeable moment from the week. I got Sean Payton smiling in his old lady sunglasses when he won. I can see memes coming out this week saying, smiling sunglasses, when you're meeting your boys on a Friday night and someone says, I got this check, whatever. That could be a memeable moment. And I already saw this meme come out this Sunday. Is Aaron Rodgers crawling on the field from his injury, I saw memes of people saying that's what a 40-year-old dad looks like. That's what somebody 6 beers deep at a tailgate looks like. So Aaron Rodgers crawling on the ground already very, very memeable. Next award. This is the Best Innovation Award. I got 2 of them here. Number 1, Best Innovation, the QB wristband. You know when they wear that wristband, that big old thing, and it's got all the plays on it? Who invented that? That's pretty cool. Got this little tiny font that one of the assistant coaches printed out late at night. And every once in a while, the offensive coordinator wears the same wristband too, like for reference. I like that. That's cool. And then secondly, this is a Best Innovation Potential Idea Award because we had an hour 20 of rain delay. So we're watching commercial after commercial. We're watching Jason Garrett fill the time with more highlights, calling Joe Burrow the moo. So what about this? We lost an hour 20 of game time. Why not NBC? Why not give us commercial-free hour or commercial-free half just to pay back the fans? Keep that momentum going. Keep the flow of the game going. What about that? Throw that in there. A little fan appreciation. 1st and 10, 2-minute warning. Dallas is on the Pittsburgh 23. Another run out to the right. I think that's Zeke. Or maybe it's that new Turpin guy. Gained 1 yard. Okay, and they need the touchdown, not a field. Ooh, this is getting tight. Dak. It's time for primetime Dak. Let's see how he does. It's going to bring up 2nd down for them. All right, moving on. We'll do the awards while I call the game. Hot Take Award. This one is pretty Aaron Rodgers centric. Aaron Rodgers in the offseason will host SNL. It's going to happen. The guy likes to be in the spotlight. He likes to ham it up sometimes, but it's got to be in his head. I can see him hosting Saturday Night Live. He's a New York Jet. Also, I would not be completely surprised if Aaron Rodgers stayed in London after this game. He's like, I'm going to stay. We're on a bye week. I'm going to hang out here. I'm going to take a 10-day vacation. Would that really surprise me? Absolutely not. Secondly, my hot take is I would not be surprised, or I predict, that Christian McCaffrey's injury was misdiagnosed. This injury is too bad to be out this long. It keeps changing as well. Maybe his injury is misdiagnosed. Maybe he's got something completely different. Dallas Cowboys, 1st down. We're at a minute 15. They are on, looks like they're going to be on the 20 now. So I'm going to pay attention to this game. Let's see what happens here. They're on the 22-yard line. Dak in the shotgun. Screen pass out to the left. He's got a lot of blockers. Down to the 3-yard line. Okay, Dak has been really efficient on this drive. In the red zone, 52 seconds. I think we have a timeout coming. Yeah. So now we get to the point where does Pittsburgh use their timeouts on D? And I think we're at that now. But this was a perfect play call, I got to say. Like, they got rushing coming. I think they just rushed 4. They still got to Dak, but he got it out left side for a screen pass to the fullback. Who uses a fullback anymore? Return to the fullback. I remember 5 years ago, I don't even think teams had a fullback. It was like Dak's doing a little talking too, getting a little chippy out there. It was Dallas who actually took the timeout. So Pittsburgh 3-1, Dallas 2-2. This win means a lot more to Dallas than a loss would mean to Pittsburgh. Be interesting with 2 timeouts, 52 seconds if Dallas runs the ball on this next series because it's 1st and goal. If I'm Dallas, I would say a pass would really catch him off guard. They're on the 4-yard line. Dak in the shotgun, running back to his left, 3 receivers off to his right. 1 in motion coming across. Handoff. Nope, fake handoff. Dak with the ball. He's going to run for it. He's to the 1, maybe to the goal line. They're going to call him down at the 1. We got another timeout, 46 seconds. Let's take a look at this replay. I thought this was really, really close. He's short. He is about 1 foot away. Okay, so Dak taking charge on this drive. I wonder if we have any repeat like we've seen in other games today where the team driving cannot finish it. Great play there, great call. Still looking at the replay. He's clearly short. From the 1 foot line, I think we're looking quarterback sneak, given Dak isn't jacked up. I don't think we could have any more angles than what we do of this play. Sometimes we review a play and we need the right angle. I think all these angles are the right angle. He's short. I haven't seen a real good coach fuck up on a challenge this week. Whereas last week, there were a couple good ones. There's somewhere like, I think it would take one person in the coach's box to look at the replay and like, no, don't challenge that. That's not worth it. That's clearly not. Inside the 2 minutes, of course, the challenge comes from the officials' booth, not any of the teams. I thought Mike Tomlin looked pretty good this week in his all white. White shirt, white Steelers hat. Really stands out because the whole team is wearing their home black uniforms. Got an explanation from the referee. I'm going to turn it up. Okay, so we got no referee managerial talk. 10-second runoffs, timeouts. Okay, that's going to bring up 2nd and goal. Dallas from the 1 yard line. They're about a foot out. We still haven't lined up yet. We still got talk going on. That's the other thing with some of these games. It just takes so much to just line up. Okay, so we got timeout talk. We got runoff talk. All right, we're going to keep going here. It's getting to the point where 37 seconds left. Pittsburgh has 1 timeout. Okay, Dak's under center. Wow, classic I formation. Handoff off the right side. There's a fumble. Oh, Dak got back on top of it. What we just said. How can you possibly blow this game? That was a huge hit up the middle. Watching the replay. Like I said, they ran an I formation. Big old fullback. Wow. Guy just flew at him. He tried to go over the top. You don't see running backs go over the top anymore. Unbelievable. As little scoring as this game has been, this last drive has had a lot of drama. Oh, well, he was doing the thing where he's going to reach the ball out to get over the goal line, and it got punched out. I think Dak might have just earned that contract with that fumble recovery. Okay, 3rd and goal, 30 seconds left from the 9. Correction, from the 4. Shotgun formation. Gonna throw it. In the middle. Incomplete. 4th and goal. Here we go. This is the play. I think it would have had him. That ball was a tiny bit low. Mike McCarthy's looking at the big restaurant menu playbook. All right, comes down to this. Sunday night, you made us wait for it, but this is good. Play clock at 15. They're just coming out of the huddle. Here we go. For the game right here, from the 4, Dak in the shotgun. We got a timeout. Dallas takes their last timeout. I would like to see a replay of that last play. See if Dak threw it too low or not. Okay, here's the replay. Oh, this is of the run. It's funny, that defender essentially gets a running start from about 5 yards deep in the end zone, launches himself at the running back. Yeah, that's amazing. And then Dak recovers it. But I haven't seen a replay of that third down. Okay, here we go. Lining up for the fourth down. Here we go. Dak in the shotgun again. And we've got another timeout. Oh, great. Pittsburgh calls their final timeout. I don't know if this is good or bad. I know the strategy's going on here, but we've kind of 4 minutes of non-play. Great shots of Pittsburgh, though, by the way, tonight. That stadium looks really good. The river looks good. Half these Sunday night games are just great commercials for taking a trip to whatever city. Dallas is down 4. Here we go. It's fourth down. Shotgun snap. Dak drops back. Scrambles, waits. It's caught in the end zone. It's caught. What a play. Dak waited. He waited, and he found the man. Wow, Pittsburgh is... Who was that? Tolbert. Tolbert came up with corner of the end zone. Jerry Jones is standing up in his press box. He's hugging a man. Actually, he didn't really hug him. He gave him like one of those little side pats. Jalen Tolbert with the catch. Dak Prescott with a perfect throw. The corner of the end zone. Definitely covered. And he found him. Okay, well, we got the extra point. He's got to make it 3. Steelers jump off sides. Gonna kick it again. All right, so let me catch up while we're on it. It is Dallas 19, Pittsburgh 17, 20 seconds left in the game. They're waiting to kick their extra point, so they could be up 3. Pittsburgh just jumped off side, so they may get to scoot up a little bit or take it on the... A lot of discussion going on with penalties these days. Should they take it? Okay, they'll get 5 yards closer for the try. Awards coming up. I've got the Sunday double feature. I got an announcer award, best quote, of course, coaches award, and who won the week. Coming up. Oh, I'll throw in my Sunday double feature right now. Sunday double feature because we had the hour 20 delay. Best Sunday double feature, The Perfect Storm. It's storm season. The Perfect Storm with George Clooney and Mark Wahlberg and a very thick, accented Diane Lane. She really tries. Perfect Storm. That's a good one. Very gray-bearded George Clooney going out to fish in the oceans off of New England. The Announcer Award. One of my favorites so far this week. Announcer Award goes to Rich Eisen for Aaron Rodgers running off the bench after his injury. After they got the roughing the kicker penalty, they got a first down. Rich Eisen just goes, "He's not dead yet." The game was boring up until that point, and they injected a little energy to it. Good job. You got to give the announcer some credit for that. Aaron Rodgers is not dead yet. It was a very like, LaRusso's going to fight? Aaron Rodgers is coming back in? Some cheers now for Rocky Balboa. Great announcer award. Best quote. Dallas just made the extra point. They're up 3, 20 seconds left. Best quote. This goes to Chris Sims about the Jets offense. They need to open it up. Thank you, Chris Sims. I'm sure they will open it up per your suggestion. Just seems like a quote you could say about anybody's offense after a loss. Like, hey, why don't you open it up? You're showing the replay of it. Tolbert just comes straight across the goal line. catches the ball. Pittsburgh defender even has an arm in there, but he muscles it. Great catch. Coach's award while they line up for the kickoff. Coach's award goes to, let's see here. Who do I got here? Oh, the Bills throwing the ball on 3 straight downs from their own 1 to potentially end the game and go into overtime. They kick the ball. They give it to Houston. So that was a bonehead coaching decision to throw the ball, Bills, on your own 1. So, I think some things could have been changed there, and probably a lot of things could be changed on my own very own Raiders game. But there's only 1 award, so it has to go to 1 person. Okay, the kickoff. Pittsburgh takes it at the 5. He's running it out. He's stopped at the 20. They got 15 seconds. So let's do who won the week before Pittsburgh comes up there. I got Jaden Daniels winning the week again. I've got Lamar winning the week. And if this score holds up, I'm going to give it to Dak and the Cowboys. It's got to be. That last drive saved them. Now, however, there's still 15 seconds left. There's no timeouts. All they need is a field goal to tie. So we'll hang out and we'll see. All right, here's the play. Dallas is way back. They're rushing 3. Fields rolling right. Throws it right at it. It's picked up. No, it's dropped. They'll have 1 more play. Thought Fields could have ran a little bit there. Maybe chip away at some of the yards. But he threw it. He threw it right at the line of scrimmage, too. Another foot, it would have been over the line. At 7 seconds, I think this is going to be the last play. Chris Collinsworth, a perfect drive. You could say a lot of things about Dak Prescott, but that was a perfect drive. Here we go, last play. Quick pass to the outside. And they're going to do the lateral thing. This never works. It's back to Fields at this point. Well, they've done 3 successful laterals. Nope, but now the ball's on the ground. Dallas gets the win. Dak Prescott also. You won the week. Whoa, what's going on here? We got a little scuffle. No, the game's over. Like the referee got in someone's face there. All right, great game, Dallas. You pulled it off despite a couple dumb interceptions. I think Pittsburgh is not going to feel too bad about this. They're 3-2. Can't feel too bad about that. There was a lot of talk of what's going to happen when Russell Wilson gets healthy. Does he come back in? Does he not come in? He's listed as the emergency quarterback now, so he didn't actually go in. That one play, Fields got hurt. Look at Mike McCarthy smiling. His face is red. Look at those teeth. This is the happiest I've ever seen Mike McCarthy. All right, let me stick to the script here. Let's go to Monday night. That means, that's right, we have, thank God, only one Monday night game this week. It's New Orleans at Kansas City. And to me, this is a no-brainer this week. New Orleans for the upset all the way. We've got Derek Carr going into Kansas City. Here's what I learned about betting on the NFL. When you think you know something, do the exact opposite. When you think the Raiders are going to beat Denver, do the exact opposite. When you think the Raiders are going to kill Carolina, do the exact opposite. And I'm going with that vibe tomorrow night. New Orleans at Kansas City. New Orleans is handing Kansas City their very first loss. Well, everybody, what a Sunday night. It went late into the hours, of course. Great Sunday night game, even though it took us an hour 20 to even start it. And what a time for the NFL, you know? This has been very hard to predict. So thanks, everybody, for joining me. It was a solo edition of the Sunday Night Talk. I want to remind everybody, if you haven't subscribed already to my YouTube channel, do it right now. Every subscriber count. I'm doing little YouTube shorts before the Sunday games. A little synopsis of where my mindset's at. Not to mention all my comedy is up there. All my interview series is up there. Planning a little something for the Halloween season. You'll see what I'm saying? So go check it out. Thanks, everybody, for listening. Give it a click. Like I said, your support helps, and I got more stuff coming. So for me, Patrick Ramirez, and all you listeners and new subscribers, this was the Sunday Night Talk. I will see you next week. Enjoy.